better anyway.
Are you recording already? Okay. Hello, this is After the Flag. Why didn't you warn me? I told you. You weren't recording in there, were you? Welcome to After the Flag from Magellan. This is After the Flag from Laguna Seca. Come on, guys, come on! Well, when we came to you from Silverstone, we interviewed one of the challengers for Moto2, and of course that's Pol Espargaro. Now we've got the man who's leading the World Championship this year, Scott Redding, in Pol's enemy territory. What does it feel like? Because it looks like the fans are still welcoming you here.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, feels pretty good. I saw you doing the interview with Pol in England. Yeah. I was a bit worried about that. I was a bit jealous actually, but actually to come back in Spain now I'm here, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's always good fun. We always like to have a bit of fun. Now, we know you like to have your fun. You have done over the years in MotoGP as well. Just noticed this top lip that's coming on this weekend. Is that a new look?
I'm trying to be a new look, but it's just not quite getting there.
I'll give you some tips. Rub salt on it.
Salt.
Makes the hairs
if I
come
rub
out
salt
fine.
on it, it's going to all come off.
Of course, when we spoke to Cal Crutchlow as well last time out, he was nursing a wound. It must be something about having British riders on. Cal had a big hole in his arm. Just show the cameras as well that, because that is pretty nasty. But that one's almost self-inflicted because that was an arm pump operation. What's that feel like? What do they have? A big staple gun? They come in.
Well, this was the thing, like when I was there, it was like, yeah, we're going to make this, and it was in Spain. I didn't really understand. I was like, just make it work, you know. And then he was like, yeah, do you want to go to sleep? I was like, I think it's better I go to sleep, wake up and not know, you know. Like, I didn't even know I was going to get the staples in there. So when I went cycling, I was like, I need to get this cast off. So I stopped on the side of the road to take the cast off. As I was pulling it up, he said it was going to be like 2 inches, and that don't look like 2 inches to me.
I don't know, it depends how you measure those inches, Scott, doesn't it?
I know inches can be big, but I was pulling it off and I was like started to go white. I was sweating. I was like, oh my God, that is so big. Like, 'cause I didn't expect it. But then after I'd seen it and got over it, I was like, yeah, that's fine. You got a ride of it. It's too late to do anything, so you have to go with it now.
Is it painful? Because you went out, did some supermoto to make sure. What's it been like on the bike all weekend?
Yeah, it's like the worst part actually is going into the leathers. It's the worst part. Like, every time I go in, I'm like, I'm not going to go in, but I'm like, you are going to go in the leathers. You have to go in, and it's just because the protection's tight and like they push down the side of it, you know, and like just have to sort of grit your teeth just for them 2 seconds. Once you're in and riding, it's not too bad. It was just getting the power back today a little bit, but yeah, it's not really a big problem.
Now, for those who don't know Scott, he's going to be up in MotoGP next year with the Honda Gresini team, riding the customer Honda. I think it's the best way to describe it. We talked to Pol about his move up there. How much are you looking forward? How much can you even think about it though when you're involved in a Moto2 battle?
To be honest, it's almost not forgotten about, but it's something that's going to happen in the future. Now it's a done deal. We put it to the back of my mind, and I just want to sort of try and wrap up this championship. You know, my main focus is to finish off what we started. We started so strong. We've been a little bit inconsistent. I want to get that consistency back, and I'll do my best to sort of take this championship home. Yeah,
it'd be great to see that go all the way for you this season. Of course, people, a little wave to the girls. Always got a little eye twinkling. We'll try to have an interview. A little wave. Anyway, people, of course, who first will have heard your name. You're the youngest ever rider to win a Grand Prix, of course, back at Donington Park back in 2008, wasn't it? You've changed somewhat since then. Who's your stylist anyway? Because I don't think you had one back then, but you've certainly had a few looks over the years, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I got like hairdressers that sponsor me back home, and they're always wanting to do some wacky things. And first few things we done like privately, and then it's like coming more and more, and then like I grew my head and I changed the colours, and I was.
You had the red,
like,
red one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. The red was for Red Nose Day. I thought, yeah, that was pretty cool. And then it was like blue and change, and I was a bit like, sometimes like I'm a bit crazy. And when I look back now, I'm like, oh my God, you know. But then it was really cool. I enjoyed to do it for different reasons, but now I look back, I'm like, why did you do that?
We've all had haircuts like that. We thought at the time were really cool, and then they weren't. But you just said to me before we did the interview that you feel you've grown up, and a lot of times we talked about in the commentary that it's a new you, isn't it, this season? And that's something that's taking you towards MotoGP, being a more mature rider, not only on the track, but off the track as well. Do you feel, is that something you've actively tried to do?
Not really. I mean, for me, them things you can't change. I mean, I think for my age, I've always acted older, but the moment you turn like 20, for me, something just changed, you know, like I wasn't so fiery, and when things happen, I was like, whatever, you know, like, I know I'm better than this and I can do that and I don't have to worry about these things. And it's just something I think comes with like age and experience, you know. You see a lot of riders out there, like, if they mess up a lap, like normally I would go completely crazy, and now sometimes I just like brush it off like I didn't even see it. And it's them little things that makes the riders different.
Well, we just asked Paul one last question about his thoughts on MotoGP, because we've seen Marc Marquez go so well in the step up to MotoGP, and one thing he said is that, yeah, he knows he can battle. He's done it in the past. Is that a similar kind of feeling for you?
Yeah, I mean, Mark's doing an amazing job. I know I expect him to be fighting for podiums, but I didn't expect this. But in the end, like Paul said, we've both battled with him, and I've battled with him with a disadvantage, you know, and I'm not going to say, oh yeah, now I'm going to get an advantage, because in the end it's always the same things. And the riders at that sort of level, I think when you can ride a bike at that level, I think you can ride any bike at that level. You see all of us with the 125 and the Moto2, you know, and I think to battle with him for me in the first year is not going to be really possible because of the bike. But in the future, I mean, that's, for me, that's going to be the guy to go to, and it'll be interesting to see how Paul goes with the Yamaha.
We'll wait and see. We wish you all the best for that move, but also, of course, for the rest of the championship in your quest to become, I think, the first British champion since 1977. So it's a long way. Well, it is. It's before I was born.
As long as it's a fact.
Longer than you were born. But all the best for that and for the rest of the season. Let's see how Scott and Mark and the rest of the MotoGP crew got on in the races here at Aragon this weekend.
So here we go, 20 laps of MotorLand Aragón. It's round 13 of the Moto3 World Championship.
Very good start from the inside.
Here we come, up towards turn 1. And Rins holds the advantage. Alex Rins takes the lead at turn 1.
Vinales gets close, down the straight. It's all going to happen now in the final corner as Alex Rins pulls away from Vinales. Coming down the straight, Vinales thumps his tank.
This would be his 4th Grand Prix win in the last 6 races. He will overtake Vinales in the championship into 2nd place. Alex Rins wins in Aragon.
Vinales is 2nd. Marquez will come home in 3rd place. Away they go, a bit slow getting away for Julian Simon. Scott Redding puts himself right in the middle of the track. Look, Pol Espargaro has got through on Tito Rabat into turn 1. Best place to be for Espargaro, though he runs it a little bit deep. And coming round is Nakagami up into 2nd place. Brilliant start from the Japanese rider who was in 4th place. And the crasher in there is Tom Luzzi.
This is Tyrrell with that massive advantage. Rabat's so strong, he's not close enough this time round. One wouldn't imagine, but here he comes up the inside of Scott Redding. That's a brave move. Can Redding make it count as they go to turn? Not this time round. Redding down in 3rd place. Rabat up into 2nd. Redding in 3rd place. Espargaro in 4th. Here comes Pol Espargaro up the inside as they tip it into 16.
Redding on that inside line once more, and bravely, is he going to have to sit up this time? He's forcing Espargaro as much as he can to run it wide down towards turn 1. I think once Espargaro's through, it's going to be almost impossible for Redding to fight back.
Nico Tirola's already crossed the line, crosses the line now. His 2nd Moto2 victory for the Spanish rider.
Tito Rabat takes 2nd place. Pol Espargaro claims 3rd, all Spanish podium. But Scott Redding, brilliant ride. He'll be very pleased with that one in 4th place.
But for the 2nd time this season and the 2nd time at Aragon, it's a race of victory for Nico Tirol. Marquez, Lorenzo and Pedrosa on the front row of the grid for the 23-lap race.
Twitchy from Lorenzo at the start, but he gets away perfectly once more down towards turn 1. Pedrosa is also through on Marc Marquez, and Rossi is going to try and get through on him, but he hasn't managed it, and Lorenzo is away. Marquez is going to get very close. He's going to have to pick the bike up. Marquez is going to have to pick the bike up. You can see that coming about him, and Pedrosa has gone down. Danny Pedrosa has gone. I wonder if they did actually collide.
Goodbye World Championship 2013.
Before the back straight, I nearly touch him a little bit, and I go wide, and then I saw that he crashed too. But yeah, then Jorge takes some meters. I try to recover that meters because I know that the race was important.
Right in behind Lorenzo. Lorenzo pulling across the track right to the inside, but it doesn't stop Marquez. Marquez fires it into the lead. Oh, he gets extremely close to Bautista that time. Also, he can line up a move into turn 7. That's where we were suggesting Lorenzo might have been able to make one on Marquez, but Bautista comes straight back. Rossi dives around the outside into the Aragon corkscrew, and through he goes. He hands on to 3rd place now. Still 1.5 laps to go. Bautista now could lose out even on 4th to Stefan Bradl as the German rider does come through on the inside. They both got so close to the back of Rossi as well, but Bradl takes 4th now from Bautista. It won't be an all-Spanish podium.
Wow, fabulous stuff. Looks like Marquez is going to win the race. It's in a tremendous battle for the final podium position. Bautista back in there. Bradl, though, alongside him. This is just helping Valentino Rossi.
All the time, isn't it? Just corner to corner. Bradl tries to get the inside line, heading through 6. This is where Rossi went through into turn 7. Marc Marquez crosses the line for his 6th win of the year and a hammer blow in the World Championship.
Jorge Lorenzo in 2nd place, Valentino Rossi on the podium. You see, he's done it. Valentino Rossi in 3rd place, but Marc Marquez increases his lead in the World Championship to 39 points.
Well, there's no doubting the major talking point in the Aragon Grand Prix, is there? It was the crash of Dani Pedrosa, of course, which happened here just on the exit from turn 12 when he high-sided, which seemed strange enough at the time, but now we know it's because of the contact between himself and Marc Marquez here at the apex of turn 12. It seems that his rear sensor of the rear wheel speed was cut in that contact there, and of course that meant there was no traction control. Opened the gas, up he went into the air as well. Both riders say they felt the contact, but if we look at the thousands of camera shots we have of it, it's really hard to appreciate it. We've got onboards as well from the trackside cameras, really difficult to see, but they both say it was there, and I'm sure it's going to rumble and rumble on the discussions about that one all the way till we get to the next round in Sepang. For Dani Pedrosa, a real shame. Not only did he fail to win here at home, it was on his birthday, his 28th birthday as well. And in terms of the championship as well, if we look at how things stand now for him, 59 points separate him from Marc Marquez. That might be Dani making his way back home now, trying to get out of here as quickly as possible. Of course, with 4 rounds to go, that's a massive margin to overhaul. 39 points now separate Lorenzo from Marquez, and again, that's a hard one to overhaul. That means Marquez can now finish every race remaining in 3rd position and still take home the title. And of course, we've got our usual debrief of this weekend's action. I think I know what the main talking point might be.
With the helmet on, looking in from the outside, it's difficult to know how they really are, how they think, whether they're fully focused on this year or looking ahead to pastures new, whether things are easy or tough, and whether they're happy with progress or feeling the pressure. But when push comes to shove, one notes 3 distinct types who turn up at the party, noted in particular for their dancing. Yes, it might take a while to get warmed up, but it doesn't take long before they all want to be with him. He becomes the king of the party and of the racetrack. But being king of the racetrack is no mean feat at all. They are very much in the know when it comes to the second type of personality at the party, the self-confident one, the one who has absolute blind faith in the pure belief that he can do it. The one who starts from 100% and couldn't care less who it is challenging him. Victory might not have come, but it certainly wasn't through a lack of trying, was it? And last but not least, we've got him. He is absolutely aware that he's in the middle of a party to which he was most certainly not invited, but that ain't gonna stop him. In fact, he is fully aware of the fact that he was there first and it was the other colour which changed around him. He took a trophy home because sometimes things happen at parties. Not everybody leaves a happy man, but honestly, when it's on your birthday, the day on which you're expected to be the happiest and most confident of them all, well, okay, you were the centre of attention, but perhaps not quite for the reasons you might have wished for. So instead of talking about you, they're asking about other certain individuals.
Creo que hay varios pilotos en el mundial que respetan bien esas normas de conducta sobre que no corres solo y que la pista no es solo tuya. Hay otros que no.
Speaking of others, let's talk about Mr. Marquez, the one with the blackened elbow, which happens to answer his own question very well indeed. Rossi's talking about you as well. And it's the same topic of conversation for Jorge Lorenzo, complete with his "don't say I didn't warn you" expression. Dani Pedrosa's untimely demise from the Aragon Grand Prix would appear to leave us with a two-man party with 4 races to go, but you really get the feeling that a lot will still happen before that music stops.
Well, that's it from another week of After the Flag. There'll be a lot more of those big black clouds where we're going next in Malaysia. Of course, it can be boiling hot, but also can be some massive downpours as well in the afternoon. Unfortunately, we won't have After the Flag for you from there, nor will it be from the Australian round of the Championship in the week following. We'll be coming back to you next after the Japanese Grand Prix at Motegi, when we could very well have a new MotoGP World Champion. Tune in to find out in the next After the Flag. We'll see you then.